What's up, guys? Welcome to CashCowspokertv. We're coming at you with the Thursday Thanksgiving special, one evening early. Happy Thanksgiving to all you guys out there. You're here with me, Eric White. Jones and Tim are here with me. And we're coming up to talk about fantasy football, as always.
Yeah, specifically the Thursday 3-game slate on DraftKings.
So you're going to be eating turkey, getting down with the special grub.
And ham.
And ham, apparently. So what we're going to do first is we're going to jump right into the first game. We're going to talk about Chicago and Detroit. Key injuries in that game. Mitchell Trubisky looks doubtful.
Key.
And is that the most up-to-date we have on that? Is just doubtful?
Yeah.
Most up-to-date so far.
Yeah,
Okay.
As far as I know, slated, looks like Chase Daniel's going to be the backup.
Chase Daniel's going to be the backup. Okay. Kerryon Johnson out.
Out.
Marvin Jones out.
Yeah.
Which brings me to my first player I want to put emphasis on. This was my guy I wanted to talk about, Theo Riddick. Going to be working, probably primarily out of the slot, but also have maybe more running back duties than usual.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Possibly getting points on both sides of the ball. Cost him $4,500 on DraftKings. And I feel like he's been getting 8 to 12 points a game. Yes, Chicago's defense is good. Yes, they stopped pass-catching running backs, but he's just going to have high volume working out of the slot. I feel like it could be a big day for him because the offense might depend on him. Next up, I think I think both you guys wanted to hit on Jordan Howard going for $4,100.
Yeah, I think if Trubisky's out, he's a great play. $4,100 allows you to play up on your receivers and get like Thomas and Jones in. So. As you want.
I want to play devil's advocate there, and I was on the other side of the fence when we were discussing this, and I said I think that, Mitchell Trubisky makes that offense complete, and if he's out, I just think they're going to sputter. I think you can line up 8 in the box and just hammer Howard all day. I think it makes him a dangerous play, but these guys both say it's good. Go for it.
He's going to get more shares, more
volume.
volume.
And that more volume is key, and he is a low cost, so he doesn't have to do a whole lot for you to make your value.
It allows you to play because you need those points from the other guys.
Yeah, it all boils down to this. I mean, really, and we're going to get to the game, but it's all about you got to play the players from Saints Falcons. You can't, in order to do those guys, in order to play all the dudes there, you can't.
Sure.
You know what I mean? You can't spend up in every game.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be the game.
You can't spend up in every game. So I think where me and Tim are coming from, like that's just really good value. If Trubisky misses, I think his touches go up. I think the game script completely changes for him. The defense and Jordan Howard may end up being a really good stack in tournaments.
Cohen has been usually out touching him in each game. You guys aren't seeing that as a factor as far as
Cohen has a bigger upside. He could get you a bigger game.
But you think Jordan Howard has a higher floor?
But his price is more as well, so it doesn't allow you to get some other players that you do need.
Yeah.
All right, talk about these defenses, guys. I think the Bears are 2,900, and the Detroit Lions are 2,400. Probably going to be a pretty defensive game. Lions have been pretty poor all year, as Lions tend to be. Bears with Khalil Mack, possibly definitely top 3 defense in the league, I think. At this point, I feel pretty confident saying that from a fantasy standpoint and from a fan of football standpoint. Right. I think they're a top 3 defense in the league,
and they're less than $3,000 in DraftKings, so it's a great plan.
Yeah, and I've been, I'm one of those guys who have paid the $4,100 before for them, and a few times that I haven't been, thoroughly satisfied that I spent the extra $800 to $1,000.
What's at Stafford? He's going to throw an interception.
Yeah, he's going to be
he
aggressive.
He gets sacked a lot.
He's
got pressure.
He already gets sacked a lot because the Detroit. Like I was highlighting the Detroit Lions defensive line earlier for being run stopping against Jordan Howard, but at the same time, like their offensive line, like he's saying, they let up sacks, and the Chicago Bears get sacks. I think Khalil Mack might have a field day, to be honest, or whoever benefits from Khalil Mack being double teamed.
But on the flip side of that, I think Detroit becomes real interesting in tournaments at 2,400 on DraftKings?
2,400 doesn't have to
against possibly a backup quarterback.
most likely at this point.
You know what I mean?
A
So
backup
The value
quarterback
goes up.
or a quarterback if Trubisky does play,
That's what
a
I'm
quarterback that's not anywhere near 100%.
So I mean, I think and paying down the defense right there, the extra 500 in savings
Could
mean
go somewhere else.
that could go somewhere else towards the same
Absolutely.
stuff.
All right, guys. Last two guys up from this game, we got Taylor Gabriel, Kenny Galladay.
Gabriel is my play again because he's 3,700 and allows you to pay up for the bigger guys, like Kamara.
I was the
Matt
man
Ryan.
against that. I was the one. Like again, I said it was an issue of if it's not Trubisky throwing the football, I think it makes Taylor Gabriel. Like I feel like he's just a guy, with the deep balls downfield. That tends to be where a lot of his yards come from. I feel way less confident in him to do his game without Trubisky, out there. I feel like the Bears' offense is just going to be like 2007 Bears offense if you don't have Trubisky running the thing.
Well, you said Jordan Howard wasn't a good play because of that.
And the Bears' offense that year wasn't a good play. No, you get a little bit of Forte work, but
Right.
Oh no, that was before Forte.
I don't mind. I don't mind Gabriel in this spot. I mean, again, it's just another spot that you could possibly pay down. To me, it's more of a Trubisky dependent play. If Trubisky plays,
It's
I
more
obviously
value.
like Gabriel a lot more than if Trubisky doesn't play.
It just gives you two options.
I like
to pay
Galladay
down
either
and get
way.
up.
Yeah,
Both from the Bears.
and Howard and Jordan, I think, could be really good values. Gabriel's a guy who can take. He can smash value on 3 touches.
Maybe low round.
Yeah, and projected ownership coming in pretty low early, so could be a nice little pivot spot again, allowing you to pay up for some of the other guys.
Okay, guys, last question before we go to the next game. Between Galladay, who we've highlighted, that's obviously the go-to receiver.
Yeah,
can get
I
the
mean the
targets.
volume's going to
Detroit.
be there.
What's he gonna do with it when they pay?
Now, here's my question, guys. On this Sunday, I'm sorry, not Sunday, on this Thursday, more points, Kenny Galladay or Theo Riddick?
Ooh.
I'm gonna say Galladay.
I'm going to say Galladay, but Theo Riddick's floor is a lot higher.
I think his
than me.
floor is Theo Riddick's floor is higher.
I think Theo Riddick's floor is a lot safer. I think Riddick's a safer play than Galladay.
I think I have to say, somewhere along the lines with you there, I'm going Riddick because even though Chicago's D is good, they've been average against the pass, and I feel like they're going to really be focusing more on Galladay with what pass defense they do have.
Plus, I had nobody else to throw to.
Yeah.
Right, Riddick's just going to get the looks in the middle on these little check down under routes, all day long.
Yeah, I mean,
So
it's hard to
that's
disagree
my
with
take
that.
on that. Okay, guys, on to the next game. We got Washington at my Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, what's the over/under on this game?
On that first game,
No, on this Redskins Cowboys.
the over-under is 40.5. 43 on that first game, by the way. Chicago, Detroit. Dallas, Washington, over-under 40.5 points. Key injuries. Alex Smith broke his leg a week ago.
get
2
well.
breaks.
Get well, man.
Yeah, 2 breaks in that leg. At 30, I believe,
Disgusting.
34 years old. Good luck. We hope to see you again in the NFL. Chris Thompson, another week, another no-go. This has been, for those of you who are Chris Thompson owners, and season long, this has got to have been a long 6 to 8 weeks for you. When he has played,
Catch
he's
the
been
ball.
spotty.
Maybe to catch the ball.
He hasn't been good since week 2 or 3.
Has he played since week 2 or 3?
He has, I think, been sprinkled in maybe one game there since week 2 or 3. If he has been in for a game, it wasn't impactful in a meaningful, positive way. And then I think he
I'm sure I played him.
re-aggravated whatever injury he's dealing with. So, first guy we're going to talk about is obviously the big man in Dallas, Zeke Elliott. 8,600 on DraftKings.
Yeah.
Are we all feeding on this guy?
Absolutely.
Is this a must-play against a usually pretty stingy Washington defense?
In my opinion, it's the only play
in
this
this
game.
I'm almost
pay
on
up.
board with you.
Pay up.
Um,
Like Dak,
Yeah.
I'm not
he likes
completely on
Cooper.
board.
he likes Cooper.
I
for
didn't
some-
say I like Cooper. I like Jordan Reed
Likes
is the
Cooper.
other,
Give him that
the other non-defensive player.
Give him
in this
that
game.
first round
Now,
pick.
granted, Washington's defense is very, very good defense, but
But without Alex Smith, how long can your offense hold the ball to keep it away from Dallas's offense? That's my question: is how many first downs are you going to get with Colt McCoy?
They're just gonna run the ball. Like, each team's just gonna pound the ball.
Right. Dallas has a defense. Like people underestimate Dallas's defense.
Which
Their
makes me
defense is
ask you,
strong. How are they going to get first
Which
down?
makes me ask you,
Strong pass defense, strong run defense.
I think they're better against the pass than they are the run.
I would have
And
thought that until the Titans game, and then kind of at the Titans game, I decided that we were actually the other way around, and I feel like as a Cowboys fan, I feel like we rely on our pass rush, and we rely on stopping the run. I think it makes our corners a little better than they actually are. Like, I'm not saying Byron Jones isn't a fantastic young player. Same with Adwuzie, but at the same time, like, the longer these guys got to cover, we need DeMarcus Lawrence getting home with the pass rush. We need Jalen Smith and Van Der Esch flying around and doing what they do best to clog that run up.
Agreed, man. But I mean, it's hard to deny what Adrian Peterson has been able to do with the backup quarterback. Obviously, we'll see if that can continue.
I wouldn't play him.
Who's the favorite in this game, by the way? What's the prediction by Vegas? Who does Vegas say? Is this a Cowboys advantage, I assume, against a backup? I'm assuming.
At home, yeah.
Yes.
Okay. By how much? Any idea or no?
You can write that down?
I didn't ask.
I can't think of it.
All right, guys. We're not talking about much out of this game. I don't think Dak is ever a big play in fantasy.
5,100.
I mean, yes, he's a minimum quarterback, sure.
Allows you to pay up if you want to.
Amari Cooper was what in the ballpark? What was his price? In the ballpark of $6K.
Yeah, I think it was 57.
It's been fluctuating between like 50, 56.
I mean, it's a
and like
gamble.
62
You're gonna do it on
season.
DraftKings.
Yeah, these are always
gonna
guys. Like, there's only 3 games going.
He'll-
You're gonna play Amari Cooper if you're
He'll
running.
probably
lots of
be
lines,
low
sure.
owned, one of the lower owned receivers.
Yeah, I would imagine.
So if he hits gold, he hits gold. He's probably gonna do well. But
Okay. Jordan Reed. This is a guy where a lot of people are saying, "Oh, backup quarterback." This is already a guy who hasn't been producing up until last game. Last game, he catches his second touchdown of the season, first since week 1, but he catches it from the now starting quarterback Colt McCoy after he had taken over for Alex Smith. I feel like Colt McCoy is not a downfield passer. I think he's going to be under a lot of pressure from this Dallas defense. I think that spells a lot of little 5-yard routes for Jordan Reed, a lot of short catches with maybe some run after catch opportunity. But those Dallas linebackers fly, so I'm not looking for a huge game from him, but maybe a tight end of the day just for the tight ends that are playing tomorrow.
That's why the under's so low. There's just not going to be a lot of scoring. So.
Yeah, you can get a lot of points in a single drive from checkdowns. We see it a lot of times.
Fade this whole game except for Elliott.
Fade this game except for the defenses, Elliott. And Eric
play,
says Jordan Reed.
I could be talked into Trey Quinn. I think Trey Quinn is interesting in tournaments. Very cheap. I believe 3,700 on DraftKings.
I didn't check.
He had.
I avoided this game.
Yeah, I mean, he ran. I believe it was 39 routes last week. And he got 4 targets. I expect that to increase because all those targets came from Colt McCoy. So, if they're going to be able to develop some chemistry there, if he's going to run routes out of the slot, then I really believe that Trey Quinn is an option. I'm not saying he's a lock. No one go lock him in. But I think he can. I think he can be a good value play. A good value play. If you get 12 out of a guy like that, you're pretty happy.
All right, guys. I think that's about where we're at with the Dallas game. Obviously, not a lot of fantasy stuff.
Both the defenses are in play.
Both the defenses are in play. Washington's been solid and Dallas solid, and on top of it, backup quarterback. You're going to want to get in there. Okay, we went over these guys. Anybody from that game? Who's your sleeper from that game? Like, who's going to get your surprise touchdown from that game? Who's going to be the guy who's your dart throw from that game, although you'd rather not play any of them?
If I had to take a dart throw from that game, I think it's
like
going to be
5K or less. For sure, like 45 or less.
Trey Quinn.
Okay. Tim?
I mean, is Jordan Reed 4,500?
47.
I don't know. I avoid this game. Like, this game is not going to be scoring.
Tim says actually no one besides these two
This
gentlemen
is
going to score.
To me, this is definitely for fantasy purposes. Hopefully, you guys enjoy the time with your family, but this is the game where you just go ahead and take the turkey nap.
As the Dallas fans, you hope you're getting the win that you're projected to get, and you hope
wake up with Ezekiel Elliott with.
Yeah.
All right, my
yards
sneaky pick in that game. We're gonna go with Michael Gallup. Like,
get the
sneaky pick.
Sneaky pick.
You need a dart throw.
That's way
Michael
under the
Gallup.
radar.
The man has to score a
dart throw.
touchdown eventually. He's very capable of doing
Blindfolded
so.
with a dart.
Blindfolded with a dart. All right, guys, we're moving on to the next game. We got Atlanta at New Orleans.
The game.
The players we're going to be highlighting out of
This
this
is the
game is
game.
everyone involved offensively.
Offensively.
And maybe the Saints defense. Yeah. Okay, so let's jump right into it. Tim?
So that's why you paid down at the other guys we were talking about earlier for this.
Yeah, you're
game.
here now. This is the reason you've discounted these players all through the day. Some of you sprinkled in that Michael Gallup I asked you to do, so now it's your time to load up on these players.
He's pretty cheap, so that would allow you to play,
Hey, Dak Prescott was cheap, so I'm just saying.
Matt Ryan, Julio.
Just hear me out here before we go over these guys. Dak Prescott and Michael Gallup slotted in with the rest of these guys. You only need one connection there to be huge. One connection, Tim.
Just one.
Just one.
Okay.
It's got to be about a 40-yarder, but you just need one. All right, so we're jumping in. Breeze, 6,700.
Obviously, it's a great pick.
And Matt Ryan, 6,100. Who you guys going with there across the board? We're going to be going over all these guys, so what are you thinking there across the board? Drew Brees, Matt Ryan, what's your better call there?
That's a tough one. That's a tough one, and this is wise because Drew Brees' attempts are down this year than normal, but he's been crazy. But he's been crazy efficient. Crazy efficient at it.
Still getting his 3 bills.
Completing over 75% of his passes. Has 3 touchdowns, 4 straight games.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. I think I seen
scored 50 plus as a team, 3 straight games.
He's like 28 touchdowns, 1 pick.
Yeah,
something like that.
25 touchdowns on the season, 1 pick.
That's ridiculous.
It's crazy, obviously, and against a very, in the spirit of giving, against a very giving
Falcons
Atlanta defense.
Yeah,
they're very giving.
So obviously Breeze is in play, but on the flip side of that,
so is Matt Ryan.
Matt Ryan's in play because
they should be down.
Yeah, because they're in theory they're going to be throwing the football
constantly.
The Saints defense has improved over the last couple of weeks.
And I don't think the Saints will do the same thing they did last week to Philadelphia.
I feel
I think that was more of an anomaly than what we're going to see regularly.
I mean, I'm not saying they're about
I'm not saying that we won't see that again, but I think that we've really seen an improvement from Marshawn Lattimore, who obviously last year
he was already good.
He was already good, but he started off in a bit of a slump this year, and I think that's a lot of why the Saints defense was not playing well because of the secondary in general. And I feel like these last 2 or 3 games, they've really turned it around, and it seems like they're dominating
I think
now.
The Falcons are going to score more than 7 points or whatever.
For sure, the Falcons will score more than 7 points, but the Falcons aren't going to go out and score 40. I don't think. I don't think
projected 40.
Well, the Saints are going to score 40.
Vegas has the over under right now at 60. Okay.
Well, the Saints are getting 40 of that. I guarantee it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like the Falcons are a very good offense still. Let's not discount the Falcons offense.
Yeah, Julio Jones for sure. They've got a lot of
weapons across the board. Matt Ryan is in play simply because the volume should be there. I expect him to come out, throw it 35, 40 times.
Oh yeah.
Right, but he's like Drew Brees is probably not going to have a turnover. Matt Ryan probably is. He's going to have.
But turnovers don't kill you.
Yeah, it's just
minus 1 point.
Plus,
turnovers don't kill you.
Plus, you think about it. Matt Ryan's touchdowns are probably going to be through the air as Drew Brees can hand the ball off.
It's true.
Well, and that brings us into our next point. If Matt Ryan's touchdowns aren't going to be through the air, they're going to be going to Tevin Coleman.
Yeah.
Most likely. We'll get there, Tim. Thank you. The next matchup on the board, the number 1 running backs for each team. A lot of teams can't support 2 fantasy running backs. These teams, well, one does a great job and the other one's so-so. You got Alvin Kamara, Tevin Coleman, 5,200 for Coleman, 8,300 for Kamara. Guys, who's the better play here?
I mean, it's a no-brainer. I believe last time the Saints played the Falcons, Kamara had 15 targets.
Something like that.
15 targets against Atlanta's defense. I mean, we've been targeting running backs against Atlanta's defense. This isn't anything new. Kamara, you play him. And
Atlanta's D gives up the most targets per running back per game.
Yeah, I mean, it's insane. Like, we just play pass catching running backs against Atlanta. Lock in Kamara. He's going to be high owned. Okay. Eat it.
Is Coleman going to get you value for the 5,200?
No, I don't expect them. I mean, the Saints' implied total's 36. 36.5 for their implied total. Atlanta's implied totals what, 23.5?
Somewhere around there.
I don't see him. I don't see a game script that.
He vultures a touchdown, like a screen. I don't think he'll run one in.
I mean, he seems to be getting one way or another each game. And again, the Saints defense good now, not bad like they were early season, but not dominant, not by themselves. They're dominant because the offense is on the field most of the game. Like, of course, they're doing fine. They don't have to be out there that much.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, but you just got to think about it like this. There's too many high-priced players in this game to play guys with low ceilings. There's a lot of plays in this game that I believe have a higher ceiling than Coleman.
Several of the receivers have a higher ceiling than Coleman.
That are low salary. Like, I like Sanu better than Coleman from that same thing. I like Traquan Smith more than Coleman.
Do you like Ito Smith better than you like Coleman in this game?
I think that he's a great pivot play. I think that Ito Smith, if you want to get contrarian in this game, Ito Smith gets the majority of the goal line work. I like Ito Smith.
I'm pretty sure I see him when I was.
Yeah, if you're just trying to get some random exposure from this game, like you just want to pay up for Julio, Michael Thomas, you want to pay up for all the guys. I think Ito Smith is definitely in play. Tim.
I was thinking he's pretty low owned, percentage-wise.
Guys, and talking about Ito Smith, right into Mark Ingram, which would be the running back 2 counterpart there.
See, I'd play him. I'm going to play Kamara and Ingram both in the same lineup.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. Like I can definitely see a lot of people getting down on that. What do we know about ownership on these, especially these key players we're talking about in this game?
Kamara is projected to be the highest owned running back in the day.
For sure. What do you guys know about Ingram?
Ingram is actually projected somewhere around the 30s. Going into tomorrow, I would definitely
highlighting that earlier. The Riddick I hit on, I think you said 15%, and he's looking to be maybe a good chunk of the Lions offense. Reiterating back to that, but back to these wide receivers. Now we're getting into the Julio, Michael Thomas. Julio 8,300 on DraftKings. Michael Thomas 8,900. Guys, take it away. Who do you like?
Tim, I know you like Michael Thomas.
I like them both. But Michael Thomas, he catches a lot of balls. He's always open.
Yeah. Can't guard Mike.
Inside the red zone, he gets the second most looks next to Kamara, so he does get a lot of looks from
in the league. In the league,
right? In the league, yeah, he's up in the top 5 in the league in red zone targets.
Okay.
I mean,
better value of the two of them.
I'm gonna try and play it. I'm gonna try.
You're gonna try to
both
play them together, sure. Yeah. Like you're gonna at some point put the last 4 guys we've talked about together.
That's where the Trey Quinns and the and the Michael Gallups, as you say, of the world come into play. You're gonna.
But Julio's still gonna. I mean, he's a good play.
Julio's a great play.
You save money and you
3 touchdowns last 3 games. Julio back in the end zone.
Yeah,
remembering how to score touchdowns.
He scored touchdowns.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Great play at 8,300.
Next matchup would be Calvin Ridley across the board from Traquan Smith. Traquan Smith has been seeming like he can get like big game last week, duds the week before. Big game, 3 or 4 weeks ago, then a 0 directly like ahead or behind it. So obviously he's young. He's still getting acclimated to the offense. Calvin Ridley also young.
Same way.
Multiple multi-touchdown games. I think at least 3 times.
And
then we'll come
a
out
couple
again
weeks ago,
at 0.
Yeah.
But as we get later in the year here, we're seeing a playoff team. Yeah. We're seeing a playoff team in the Saints.
We're seeing the best team in the league in the Saints.
Right, and I think
contender.
We're going to have to see Traquan Smith grow into a role of a 15 to 20 points every outing. You know, and talking about it from a football standpoint, like you've got to be more consistent with. If you're not getting targets, not because Drew Brees isn't seeing you, it's because you aren't open. Like Drew Brees, if you're open or even remotely open, Drew Brees will find you. Like, he'll get you.
You're saying he should average 15 to 20 points every game?
No, I'm saying his numbers have to. I'd honestly rather him not score 30 points and just score 12 points a game. But I'd rather him give me 12 every game than 31 game and then 0 the next week, because that's and as a season-long player, and I know we're talking daily fantasy sports here, but which version of him are you going to get this week? Because every matchup we've discussed, I've discussed this guy in general, the matchups have been favorable to him for his 30-point games and his 0-point games. Like, they were never bad matchups. They were always, against a top, worst 7 defense against the pass in the league, and he's been doing this.
But the Saints' offense is Thomas, Kamara, Ingram, Breeze, and there's
For
everybody
sure.
else.
But but they gotta use somebody. There's always a fifth. It's just whoever
Sometimes.
they choose that day. Sometimes it's the football player Taysom Hill.
I mean, if we're gonna go, if we're game
Don't play
long
him fantasy
watching,
though, please, no, or do.
please,
Make some
especially
money.
if you're playing some of the tournaments I'll be playing.
Right, exactly.
Right.
But Traquan Smith is definitely in play. Traquan Smith is always in play, especially in a matchup like this. When the Saints are projected for 37 points almost,
Somebody has to.
that's
see
a
it.
lot of touchdowns.
But I mean, I could also see Kamara.
So-
Okay, guys.
Yeah,
Muhammad
absolutely.
Sanu, 4,500.
Love it.
Who do you love more? Do you love Sanu at 45 or Ridley at 54? Because it seems like depending on which Ridley you get and which Sanu you get, you
True.
don't know what you're getting.
It's a coin flip, so
It
I
is
go
a
with the cheap.
toss up, but
Sanu's cheaper.
Yep.
And
It's
it's
a
not a
toss up, but
matchup
it's
issue
almost
because they're never against the number one corner.
it's almost $1,000 difference as far as salary dollars on DraftKings.
So you
I mean,
think
I
it's
just-
Sanu?
I just
Oh,
think
yeah.
it's easier to construct lineups with Sanu.
Do one of you guys have numbers on who's getting a higher snap percentage there, or do they just run 3 wide
I mean,
sets a
Sanu.
lot?
Sanu.
Sanu is still getting more snaps.
It's the-
than-
yeah,
Sanu-
Really?
yeah.
I didn't realize he was still getting the majority.
Ridley's
of the,
very touchdown dependent at the end of the day.
and Sanu's
Sanu-
just going to get
I
you.
mean, Sanu's touchdown
He's got a
dependent.
decent floor
They're
then.
both touchdown
Sanu.
dependent.
Oh, no. Sanu has, to me, his floor is a lot higher.
Yeah, 5 catches, 60 yards on a touchdown. It's just ceiling. Get over it. You're done.
All right, guys. Tight
Who,
end.
Sanu?
Sanu's done.
Dude, that's 17 points.
That's the
That's
top.
not a very high ceiling.
What's wrong with that?
He's got a point. Okay,
You're
guys.
trying to tell me he can't get 100 yards receiving in a high total matchup?
I
Has Sanu
agree
ever
with
got
that. I
100?
don't
No.
believe.
Oh my goodness!
I don't believe he can get 100 yards. I think it would take a very
in
special day for him to get 100
100
yards.
yards would be a good
Because
game. It would
because
be
of
2 long
Calvin
reps.
Ridley, because of Tevin Coleman, because of Julio Jones, and because of Austin Hooper.
Julio's always going to get his looks, so it ain't
Right.
it ain't going to fluctuate.
All these
on a
guys are always
week-to-week
going to get their
basis.
like. You
So-
name the last time Mohamed Sanu got 100 yards in a game.
Like, don't make me.
Please
Well, no.
Google it. We'll
I mean-
we'll let you go while we'll wait. The people, me and Tim will continue on talking. You Google and you let us know what year Mohamed Sanu had 100 yards,
It's
if he ever has in a game.
Yeah, he has, I'm sure.
No, he's done it this game or this season.
Just, I hope not. We're
Okay.
fools.
I
what's
don't
the next
think
question?
he has. All right, we're talking about tight ends here. Ben Watson, Austin Hooper. Ben Watson 3,200. Austin Hooper 4,200.
Yeah.
Does that $1,000 make a difference to spend on Austin Hooper, or is it just one of these guys? Is Hooper going to for sure even get more than Watson? You know what I mean? That's what I'm
111 yards, week 6 against the Bengals.
There you go.
Week 4 against the Bengals.
And has he had any other 100-yard games this
That's probably
season?
close.
No, he's had a 73, 46, a 45, a 47, a 56. But
That's the
I'm
Sanu-
betting
But
against him having a
last
the
3
Sanu,
weeks,
you know.
5 targets, 8 targets, 6 targets. You give me that type of volume in a game that's going to be that high scoring, I'm in for 4,500 on Sanu.
You think Ridley's hitting the rookie wall where Sanu's going to pick up the slack these
It's
last
not
couple
even
weeks?
about that. It's just it's
Well, no,
purely about the
maybe,
Saints. Ridley could possibly Ridley's ceiling is high. I'm not saying Ridley is a bad player.
Too,
I'm not-
rookies aren't used to
Alright.
all that the length of the NFL season. Either.
I'm just saying strictly for the price. Mohamed Sanu is a great value in my opinion.
Alright, so
Tight ends.
back to tight ends.
Hooper 4,200. Watson 3,200. Is the 1K extra worth it?
The tight end.
In a game stack, sure. In a game
Yeah.
stack, sure.
Who do you think will score? I think Cooper will score more points. He's a safer bet to score more points.
The fact that
He's Uzoma on steroids, man.
I think he's a safer bet.
Like he
Zoma on steroids. Wow, that's
he's like
listen to that fantasy
10
football
targets?
world.
4 targets.
Yeah, but
Where
12
Uzoma,
targets?
at least
2
he
targets.
catches some of his targets. Uzoma doesn't bother with that part of it.
well, he's not. Is he playing Thursday? Don't worry about him.
Yeah.
Or ever. You should keep him off the team. Anyway, go ahead.
So, okay, guys. Interesting question about this game. Who wins? First off,
Saints by double digits.
Oh, the Saints win.
Saints win. Okay, so no lone wolf on that one. We already went over. Everybody believes Dallas is going to win that other game.
No, you said that. You said
That's what I'm asking. We're clearing up. We're clearing up the who believes who's going to win here. Who's going to win the Dallas game, Jones?
With the current roster constructed.
Yes, we won't be doing anything special on Madden with the rosters or anything.
It kills me to say it, but proud of the Cowboys.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a shit show.
All right, so no lone
That I
wolves
agree
there.
with.
All right, Chicago, Detroit.
Chicago.
Oh, depending on if Trubisky plays for me. I'm going to
So
be that
Chicago.
guy. I'm taking the easy way out.
I'm
I'm not.
going Chicago.
I'm saying Chicago's defense smothers them.
Yeah.
I'm
So
not.
you're going
Okay.
Detroit?
I didn't say that.
He
I'm
said-
taking the
he
easy
said I
way
He's
out.
saying, "Give me Stafford on Thanksgiving Day." And
He's
I'm
hungry.
full.
Give me some
He's
turkey.
hungry. He had a pretty good
He-
Thanksgiving Day last year.
He's the guy who shows up bringing cranberry in a can, dude.
Oh, Stafford's not cranberry in the can, guy. Don't say that.
He's that guy.
Stafford is not cranberry
He's
in
the
the
guy.
With a
Stafford
big ass
is like,
smile.
Stafford is like
The dude who brings cheese and
He know-
crackers, like he's just that guy,
like,
man.
He's green bean casserole.
No, he's not. That's good.
Yeah.
Okay,
He's
so
not good.
so
Yeah,
hey,
man.
Chicago.
I'm taking the easy way out, depending on if Trubisky plays.
We gotta have an answer.
Boo.
We're on camera here. Chicago or Detroit?
Chicago if Trubisky plays, Detroit if he doesn't.
Wow. Can't even middle of the road.
Wow. We'll have
He
to
isn't-
review that on camera
he's-
later and see how sly that looks.
Well, he's trained.
All right, guys. Highest score, the highest point producer from the Atlanta New Orleans game.
I think I'll be the highest.
Who scores the most points, fantasy points? In that game?
Alvin Kamara, ooh na na.
Kamara for both of you.
And I'm gonna say this: his floor is 25.
Kamara, and even if he doesn't score the most, he's still got 25. You know what? I'm gonna go a little against the grain there.
It's only value though.
I'll go. We don't go lone wolf here on Cash Cows Poker TV. We go lone cow first of all. But
It's
I
a
will.
weaker animal.
I'll go Drew Brees. I think
For the
he's just gonna
most?
sling it. Yeah.
Wow.
I think he's just gonna sling it all over the field.
But here's the thing
to
though:
everybody.
if they're up a lot, they're just gonna pound the rock.
Right.
I mean, last game they didn't for some
But
reason. Usually
if you're
they
gonna
do.
pound the rock, you're not gonna sit
points.
there.
When
he
you've
likes to
seen it,
score,
you almost
man.
went for that 4th and
I'm
2.
saying.
Yeah, when they're up like 30 points.
When
So,
they,
yeah.
No, they were up 48-7 or
Okay.
45-7, and he thought about going for the touchdown there on 4th and 2.
All right, sleeper pick or dart throw of the week for the final for all the games. We each get one. Jones,
Ito Smith.
Oh,
Tim.
I don't know. What am I thinking? I don't know. Sanu? I could get a couple touchdowns.
Yeah.
So you?
You know, I'm gonna go a little more of a dart throw. All right, well for my sleeper pick, I'm gonna go ahead and go Kirkwood then. Go Kirkwood for the Saints.
You're not.
That's a dart throw. Yeah, I'm not gonna go with Rico Gathers. I'm gonna go dart throw with Kirkwood.
Pivots.
Wow, you're going Kirkwood.
All right, guys.
You're not gonna go Michael Gallup. Last chance to go Michael Gallup.
Not going Michael Gallup. I'm going to go Kirkwood. I went Gallup from that game for a sleeper, but the overall sleeper of the day is Kirkwood. The Saints throw the ball to everybody, and let him get those some of those Tre'Quan Smith yards. Outrageous claim to finish this whole segment up, guys. Outrageous Thanksgiving Turkey Day claim. Let's start it off with Tim first this time.
Outrageous.
Outrageous claim from any game, anything. Oh, and as we get into that, while you're thinking about that, Tim, I want to point out that Matt Ryan, historically, fantastic in New Orleans, usually better in New Orleans than Drew Brees is in that game when they play each other in New Orleans. Maybe that holds true tomorrow on Turkey Day, maybe it doesn't, but historically, Matt Ryan, excellent in New Orleans throughout his career. Tim, outrageous claim for the week.
Chase Daniel, 300 yards passing, 3 touchdowns.
Daniel Jones.
Well,
By the way, Daniel Jones is projected to be the 10th round pick for the Denver Broncos next year.
yeah, I know.
Just
Go
want to
Broncos,
point that
by the way.
out.
I don't even
Duke
know if I
quarterback.
want them to win or if I want them to lose. I haven't.
It's either that or
Decided
Drew.
yet.
It's either you or Drew Lock. That's what you guys are down to
But-
next year.
Oh,
So, all right. So
Just give up
outrageous
this year.
claim.
My
Give us
outrageous claim of the week, or for the Thanksgiving slate.
for the
Yeah,
just
just
for
like-
Thanksgiving, just for Turkey Day tomorrow.
My outrageous claim.
Oh.
The Saints scored 50 points again.
And that's how many games in a row if they do that?
When they only scored 48 last game, but they've scored 45 plus.
So,
okay, so I won't say that. I'll say the Saints scored 55 points.
Wow.
so actually, I have to change my outrageous claim
don't
for
get-
Thanksgiving Day,
Okay, what?
and that is Eric Cash's and DraftKings.
Fair enough. My outrageous claim, for starters, it is Thanksgiving. I'm only going to have one plate of food tomorrow.
Yeah, that's outrageous.
Yeah, okay. Look at him. You
like
think he
one,
only has
two?
one? You think
Outrageous
he's a
claim
one-plate guy?
1, and outrageous claim number 2.
You're only having one plate of food tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like, shut the show down.
End it now.
Julio Jones goes for over 200 yards tomorrow.
No, that's not outrageous.
Ah, screw it.
That's not outrageous.
And,
Outrageous
and
was
2 touchdowns.
200 yards,
202
touchdowns.
touchdowns.
102. I put it on the 2.
So does that mean last question before we close it out, Eric? Who do you like, Michael Thomas or Julio Jones, for us to end it? You had one lineup to play. You were in a head-to-head.
I'm playing
For $1
both
million.
first off. But the thing is, it's like you guys said earlier, Michael Thomas is probably the guy, but you're spending 600 more, and they may slow down the offense once they're up by 21 to 28. If it's a close game, Michael Thomas for sure. If it starts to be a runaway, I've got to jump to Julio because they're going to start feeding that ball to Mark Ingram.
Yeah,
So
but I'm not asking you that.
so
I'm
I'm
asking
gonna
you
go-
before the game, lock a guy.
I'm going Julio Jones.
Julio Jones.
All right, there
Julio
it is,
Jones.
guys. If you guys like this, go ahead
Like
and subscribe to the channel.
Check us out for
Like
sure.
it. We'll do more content,
Share it.
guys. Thanks.
We hope you enjoyed it. Thanks, guys.